I made my first million when I was 40 years old, and my first billion when I was 75. You want to know the difference? The real secret between those two numbers? I stopped doing stupid things. That's it. That's the secret. Everyone is out there searching for the magic formula, for the secret stock pick, for the perfect morning routine that will unlock their inner genius. It's a fool's errand. There is no secret to getting what you want. There is only a list, a very clear list of things that guarantee you will never get it. There are mental errors, toxic beliefs that the vast majority of people hold dear. These beliefs are comfortable, they feel intuitive, and they will keep you poor and frustrated for your entire life. I have watched brilliant people, I mean truly brilliant minds, self-destruct because they were infected by these beliefs. They are chains disguised as wisdom. And today, I'm giving you the list of the 9 most toxic. Let me be clear. This isn't a feel-good talk. This is an intervention. If you recognize yourself in even 3 of these, you are already a decade behind where you could be. So listen closely. Toxic belief. Number 1. You believe success is about finding one brilliant, life-changing idea. This is nonsense. Utterly and completely wrong. It's a fantasy sold to you by people who want you to buy lottery tickets. It's the single biggest lie of entrepreneurship and investing. I am not smart enough to have one single brilliant idea that solves everything. I'm just not, and neither are you. So my approach is different. I don't try to be brilliant. I just try to consistently not be an idiot. Instead of finding the one right idea, I spend my time identifying and avoiding the 100 stupid ones. History is a graveyard of brilliant ideas. Think of the dot-com bubble. The idea was brilliant. Use the internet to sell everything. Pets.com had a brilliant idea. Sell pet food online. Webvan had a brilliant idea. Deliver groceries to everyone's door. They were hailed as geniuses. They raised billions, and they all went spectacularly bankrupt. Why? Because while they were celebrating their one brilliant idea, they ignored 100 stupid realities, logistics, profit margins, customer acquisition costs, competition. They were brilliant, and they were idiots. You do the same thing. You spend a month dreaming up a revolutionary new app, but you won't spend 10 minutes considering the 50 ways it could fail. You're like a ship captain who spends all his time designing a beautiful flag for his mast, but never checks the hull for holes. So here is your new rule. It's called inversion. Before you ever ask yourself, how can I make this succeed? You must first spend an hour answering the question, what are all the ways this could spectacularly fail? Write down every single one, and then just don't do those things. Your homework is this. Pick one major business flameout from history. Enron, Theranos, WeWork. Read about it for 1 hour this week, and make a list. Not of their brilliant vision, but of the simple, stupid mistakes they made along the way. That is a real education. Toxic belief number 2. You believe that to be successful, you must become a world-class expert in a single field. Wrong. Dangerously wrong. This is the fast track to becoming a fool. The world is not a collection of isolated disciplines. It is an interconnected web of ideas. To see the world through the lens of only one discipline is like looking at a Monet painting with your nose pressed against the canvas. You see a dab of paint, but you miss the masterpiece. The man with a hammer sees every problem as a nail. The economist sees every problem as an incentive issue. The psychologist sees every problem as a cognitive bias. They are all right, and they are all tragically wrong. My approach, I call it a lattice work of mental models. I don't want to know just one thing. I want to know the big ideas, the fundamental principles from all the important disciplines. physics, biology, psychology, history, economics. I want to have a full toolkit. The most catastrophic failure of the single discipline mindset was long-term capital management, LTCM. In the 1,990 seconds, it was a hedge fund run by the so-called smartest guys in the room, Nobel Prize-winning economists. They built complex financial models to predict the market. Their models were mathematically flawless within the world of economics. But the real world doesn't care about economic models. The real world has fear, panic, greed, human psychology. When Russia defaulted on its debt in 1998, their models broke completely. The fund lost $4.6 billion in less than 4 months and nearly collapsed the global financial system. The men with one hammer met a problem that wasn't a nail, and they were obliterated. You're doing it right now. You read books only about your industry. You listen to podcasts only about your job. You are building a prison for your mind. You think your political ideology, which is just one model for viewing society, explains everything. It explains nothing. Here's your test. Can you argue the other side of your most cherished belief better than your opponents can? Can you make their case for them, using their models and their language? If you can't, then you don't understand the issue. You are not thinking. You are just reciting dogma. Your homework: go buy an introductory textbook on a subject you know nothing about, psychology, evolutionary biology, anything. Read the first chapter. Your goal is not to become an expert. Your goal is to borrow their glasses and see the world through a new lens, just for a day. Toxic belief. Number 3. You believe that your own mistakes are your greatest teachers. This is perhaps the most idiotic and arrogant belief of them all. It's also the most expensive. People say this to sound wise. Oh, I learned from my failures. What a horribly inefficient way to live. I don't want to learn from my own mistakes. Why would I? It's painful. It's costly. It wastes time. My philosophy is simple. I want to learn from the mistakes of others. All the wisdom of the world is available to you in the recorded failures of those who came before. Why insist on touching the hot stove yourself when you can read 1,000 books about people who already got burned? The history of business is a gold mine of other people's catastrophic errors. Kodak invented the digital camera and then sat on it, afraid of destroying their film business, their own mistake. They learned from it, right into bankruptcy. Blockbuster had the chance to buy Netflix for $50 million, and they laughed. Their own mistake. Now one is a trivia question and the other is a global empire. They paid the price for their education. I'd rather get that education for free. You're obsessed with your own journey, your own narrative. You make a bad investment and lose $5,000, and you tell yourself, well, that was an expensive lesson. No, it was just an expensive loss. The lesson was already there, in a book, for $20. You just chose to pay a $5,000 tuition fee. It's vanity. Here is your rule. For every 1 hour you spend analyzing your own successes or failures, you must spend 2 hours studying the failures of others, especially the big ones, the spectacular collapses. Your homework: find a biography of someone you admire, but don't read it to learn what they did right. Read it to find their 3 biggest blunders. What were the stupid decisions that almost ruined them? That's where the real gold is, not in their triumphs, but in the disasters they narrowly avoided. Toxic belief number 4. You believe that complexity is a sign of intelligence. Completely backwards. Any fool can make things complicated. It's easy. You just add more steps, more jargon, more layers. True intelligence, true mastery is simplicity. It's the ability to distill a complex idea down to its fundamental essence. I have a very simple rule. If I can't explain something to an intelligent person in 5 minutes and have them understand it completely, then I don't really understand it myself. And if I don't understand it, I don't get involved. This one belief, that complexity equals sophistication, was the engine of the 2008 financial crisis. The great minds of Wall Street created things called collateralized debt obligations, CDOs. Synthetic CDOs, credit default swaps. They were so complex, so layered with jargon and mathematical formulas, that almost nobody who bought or sold them truly understood what they were. They felt smart because it was complicated. They were trading things they couldn't explain. And when the music stopped, the entire global economy was brought to its knees by a bunch of smart people who fell in love with their own complexity. You do this every day. You use business jargon to sound smart in meetings. Let's circle back and actionize those deliverables to leverage our core competencies. It's meaningless noise. You write a 10-page report when a single paragraph would do. You're not clarifying. You're obfuscating. You're hiding a lack of clear thought behind a smokescreen of words. Here's your test. The Feynman technique. Take any concept you think you know. Get out a blank piece of paper and try to explain it in simple language, as if you were teaching it to a 10-year-old. No jargon, simple analogies. If you get stuck, it means you have a gap in your own understanding. Your homework. Take the most important project you are working on right now and write a one-paragraph summary of it, just one. If your own mother can't understand what you do and why it's important from that one paragraph, you need to go back and think more clearly. Toxic belief number 5. You believe you can predict the future. This is a delusion. No one can predict the future. Not the economists, not the political pundits, not the stock market gurus. No one. The world is far too complex and random. Chasing predictions is a game for suckers. The smart person doesn't try to predict the rain. He just builds a really good ark. My entire philosophy is not about prediction, it's about preparation. It's about building a system, a business, a portfolio that is so robust that it doesn't need a correct prediction to survive. It can withstand a wide range of possible futures. Every year, the so-called experts release their stock market predictions for the coming year. It's a great circus, and every year, they are almost all wrong. Look at the predictions for the year 2000, for 2008, for 2020. They were hilariously optimistic right before the biggest crashes. People who listened to those predictions were wiped out. People who had prepared for the possibility of a downturn. By not using too much debt. By owning quality businesses. By having cash on hand. They not only survived, they prospered. They bought when everyone else was forced to sell. You are addicted to forecasts. You read articles titled "The Top 5 Tech Stocks for the Next Decade." You listen to people who claim to know where interest rates are going. You are outsourcing your thinking to people who are just guessing. It's a mental pacifier. It makes you feel certain in an uncertain world. Here's your new rule. Stop consuming predictions. All of them. Unfollow the market gurus. Stop reading the annual forecast reports. Instead, read history. History doesn't tell you what will happen next, but it tells you the range of things that can happen, and that is infinitely more valuable. Your homework. Find a newspaper from exactly 1 year ago today. Read the business section. Read the predictions the experts made about the economy, about specific companies, about politics. See how wrong they were. Do this once, and you will never trust a forecast again. Toxic belief number 6. You believe that being busy is the same as being productive. This is a disease of the modern world. You wear your busyness like a badge of honor. Your calendar is full. You rush from meeting to meeting. You answer emails at 10 at night. And you accomplish nothing of real importance. I've seen in my whole life, the busiest people are often the least effective. They are like a hamster on a wheel, spinning furiously, but never moving forward. They mistake motion for progress. Real productivity is not about how many things you do, it's about how many important things you get done. It requires quiet time. It requires deep thought. It requires saying no to almost everything. My partner Warren Buffett has days where his calendar is completely empty. Empty. He sits in his office and he reads, and he thinks. Is he busy? No. Is he productive? He's one of the most productive people on the planet. He's not playing for activity points. He's waiting for the one decision that truly matters. Look at the corporate world, an endless cycle of meetings to prepare for other meetings, presentations that no one will remember tomorrow, memos that are written only to cover your own backside. It's all activity. It's motion. But it's not progress. It's the theater of productivity. You feel guilty when you're not doing something. You have 15 tabs open in your browser. You check your phone every 3 minutes. You think if you just work harder, longer, you will succeed. You won't. You'll just burn out. Here is your test. At the end of the day, ask yourself one question. If I could only have accomplished one thing today, what would it have been? If you don't have an immediate, clear answer, you had a busy day, not a productive one. Your homework. For one day next week, schedule a 90-minute block of time in your calendar. Label it thinking time. Turn off your phone. Close your email. Just sit with a pen and a piece of paper and think about your most important problem. It will be the most productive 90 minutes of your week. I guarantee it. Toxic. Belief number 7. You believe that passion is the key to a successful career. Follow your passion. This is the advice we give to young people. It is also terrible advice. It's a recipe for disappointment. Passion is fickle. It's an emotion. It comes and goes. What you're passionate about at 22 is not what you'll be passionate about at 42. Building a career on the foundation of a fleeting emotion is like building a house on a sand dune. Furthermore, what if your passion is for something the world doesn't value? You can be the most passionate poet in the world, but the world doesn't need that many poets. You will be passionate, and you will be broke. My philosophy is the opposite. Don't follow your passion. Get really, really good at something the world finds valuable. The passion comes later. Competence is what creates passion. When you are good at something, you get recognized for it. You get autonomy. You get paid well. You gain a sense of mastery. And that feeling of mastery and contribution is a much deeper and more sustainable source of satisfaction than some vague idea of passion. Look at the countless startups that fail. They are almost always founded by people who are incredibly passionate about their idea. They love their product, but passion doesn't create a business model. Passion doesn't pay the bills. The landscape is littered with the corpses of passionate failures. Contrast that with the boring but successful accountant or plumber or logistics expert. They got good at something necessary, and they built a life on that foundation of competence. You're waiting to find that one thing that makes your heart sing. You're bouncing from job to job, idea to idea, looking for a feeling. You're treating your career like a Hollywood romance. It's not. It's a craft. Here is your new rule. Your job isn't to find your passion. Your job is to become so good they can't ignore you. Pick a field with demand and commit to mastering it. The passion will find you. Your homework: identify one skill, just one, that if you improved it by 25%, would have the biggest impact on your career. Not the most fun skill, the most valuable one. And spend the next 30 days dedicating 30 minutes a day to improving it. Toxic belief. Number 8. You believe that what other people have is a good measure of your own success. This is the most poisonous belief of them all. It is the sin of envy, and it is the only sin that has no fun attached to it. It is pure misery. Driving a fancy car because you enjoy engineering is one thing. Driving it because you want your neighbor to see it is a spiritual sickness. You are allowing someone else's life to become the architect of your own unhappiness. It is a game you can never win, because there will always be someone with more. A bigger house, a faster car, a more glamorous vacation. If you measure your worth by comparing yourself to others, you have signed up for a lifetime of feeling inadequate. I have seen envy destroy more people than greed ever could. Envy is what fueled Bernie Madoff's Ponzi scheme. People saw their friends getting incredible returns, and they couldn't stand it. They had to get in. They didn't ask questions. They didn't do their due diligence. Envy short-circuited their rational brain. They lost everything, because they couldn't bear to see someone else get ahead. You do this constantly. You scroll through social media. You see curated images of success and happiness, and you feel a pang of jealousy, a sense of falling behind. You are comparing your behind-the-scenes reality with their highlight reel. It's a rigged game designed to make you feel bad about yourself, so you'll buy the things they are selling. Here is your rule. Run your own race. The only comparison that matters is to the person you were yesterday. Are you a little bit wiser, a little bit healthier, a little bit more skilled? That is the only scoreboard you should be looking at. Your homework. For 1 week, go on a social media diet. Delete the apps from your phone. Notice what happens to your mental state. Notice the absence of that low-grade anxiety and comparison. You are taking back control of your own definition of success. Toxic belief number 9. You believe you must always be doing something. You have a bias for action. This is the investor's and the executive's worst enemy. The feeling that you need to do something, make a trade, launch a new initiative, change the strategy. Most of the time, the smartest thing to do is nothing at all. I've made more money by sitting on my ass and doing nothing than I have from all my brilliant buying decisions. The great fortunes are not made in the buying or the selling, but in the waiting, in having the discipline to buy a wonderful business and then just let it compound for decades without meddling. Action bias is driven by a desire to feel in control. The market goes down, so you feel you have to sell something. A competitor launches a new product, so you feel you have to launch one too. It's a reaction, not a strategy. It's playing checkers, not chess. Look at the average day trader. They make dozens of trades a day. They are the definition of action. They are also, almost universally, losers. They get churned to death by commissions and bad decisions. They are reacting to every little blip on the screen. The real money is made by people who make 1 or 2 great decisions a decade and have the fortitude to do nothing the rest of the time. You confuse activity with achievement. You think that if you're not making moves, you're falling behind. You change your investment portfolio every 6 months based on what's hot. You can't just sit still and let a good plan work. Here is your test. Before making any non-trivial decision, force yourself to wait 48 hours. The urge to act immediately is almost always emotional. A 48-hour cooling off period allows your rational mind to catch up. Most of the time, you'll realize the best action is no action. Your homework: look at your investment portfolio. Look at the decisions you made in the last year. How many of them were driven by a feeling of, I need to do something? How many of those actions actually improved your long-term results? Be honest with yourself. So there you have it. 9 toxic beliefs. Stop chasing the one big idea. Start avoiding the 100 stupid mistakes. Read broadly. Learn from the dead. Make things simple. Prepare. Don't predict. Be productive, not busy. Build competence, not just passion. Run your own race and learn to do nothing. This path won't make you famous overnight. You won't get a viral success story in 6 months, but in 20 years, in 30 years, you'll be the one left standing. While the geniuses, the predictors, and the passionate dreamers are long gone. Look, most people clicked off this video a long time ago. They went searching for the top 5 stocks to buy now. If you're still here, it means you're serious. It means you are part of the small minority that actually understands what it takes. This channel isn't about hype. It's not about predictions. It's about timeless principles of rational thinking that work, period. If that sounds like what you need, you know what to do. Subscribe. That's all from me. Now go and do the boring work that makes you successful.